When I was much younger, when I was in elementary school, I had lots of social problems. I was in trouble all the time. I was violent, antagonistic, disruptive. I was hurting kids on the playground. There were parents that sent notes on a daily basis to the teacher demanding that their child not sit anywhere near me because of how disruptive or antagonistic or violent I had been. And I was constantly under the threat of expulsion from the school. I was in remedial classes for kids that learned more slowly. I was suspended and had detention, stay after school, right on the board. And I remember going to lots of different therapists and psychiatrists, counselors, Jewish Family Services, and sitting many hours in the guidance counselor's office from the time I was very, very young. But I think the reason I behaved this way was not out of a sincere desire to hurt people or to make everyone's education suffer, but to have friends. And I thought, going back to the 6 human needs, the need for significance and love and connection, I felt that if I could be disruptive enough and make a fool out of myself and make people laugh, then maybe they would want to be my friends, or then they would think I'm important. Because, wow, what a daring kid to do something like that in class, knowing that he's going to get in so much trouble. That is a really daring, brave child. I want to be friends with that child. This is my thinking. But I think I knew that this long term was not going to be a success. When you're threatened with expulsion from public school and elementary school, this is not a good way to get your life off to a start. And so it wasn't until it was the day or two before I began 6th grade when my father and I went to the school to see the list of all the homerooms. And I saw that there was a specific boy that was going to be in my class named John Smith. And he had always been friendly to me. And he was the best athlete in the school. He was the fastest. He played baseball. And but when I would see him in the hall, he would always say hi to me. And I wondered, why is this kid paying any attention to me? I'm somebody that really should be steered clear of, because nothing but bad comes from being close to me. I'll either hit you, or I'll try to embarrass you, or play a joke on you, or do something silly and disrupt your education. So why would you want to give me the time of day? But he did. And I don't know why. I didn't know why at the time. I saw he was going to be in my homeroom. And I knew that if I could cultivate a relationship with him, and I could be friends with him, I could be friends with his friends, and then maybe I wouldn't be such a pariah, such an outcast, somebody that kids didn't want to be around, and someone whose parents didn't want their children to be around. If I could become friends with him, then my life could take on a completely different direction. And that's exactly what happened. I said to myself, I need to change. Only I can change. Only I have the ability to make this change. Nobody else can do this. I can do it, and I will do it. And in that second, I decided to change my whole life. I never got in trouble again. I never hit anybody again. I wasn't disruptive. I wasn't in trouble. I wasn't sent to the principal's office. I wasn't in detention. I wasn't being suspended. I wasn't writing whatever they wanted me to write on the blackboard. At the time, it was blackboards. For hours and hours and hours as a type of punishment or torture for bad behavior. My parents never got phone calls. They never got letters anymore. And I became friends with this kid. And I became friends with his friends. And my life went in a completely different direction. And it was not with medication. It wasn't with therapy. It wasn't with counseling. It wasn't with threats. It was me inside realizing that I have to make this change. And nobody can help me with it. It was what we call an identity shift. Ironically, I met with this not a boy anymore, John Smith. I met with him in Philadelphia when we were there for Thanksgiving just 3 weeks ago. I hadn't spoken to him in 27 years. My wife got in touch with him and said, I think you need to know what kind of an influence you had on my husband. He had no idea. And he said, and I spoke with him about it. I read to him what I had written for an upcoming seminar and how he changed my life. And he had no idea. And we hugged, and it was one of the highlights of my life. And I thanked him for just being friendly to me and being friendly to so many other people. Had he not been friendly to me, I wouldn't have thought there would be an opportunity to have a relationship with him. And it never would have happened. And I'm not sure what would have happened there.